Welcome back to Why Am I So Angry? I'm back with Tim Lee. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
And what do you have to show me today?
Well, something that recently just came out that a lot of people have been very excited for a really long time is the new TCG Shadoll structure deck called the Shaddoll Showdown. And Shaddoll Showdown is something that people have wanted for a long time because Shadoll, which was released back in 2014 in Duelist Alliance, was one of the most popular archetypes of all time. It was part of the Trinity format between Shadoll, Necros, and Burning Abyss, and people really love Shadoll. So we're going to review the deck, we're going to find out whether it's worth it or not, we're going to talk about the new support, some of the old reprints, because a big part of the structure deck and how much value it gives you is what are the old reprints. So we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to see if it's worth it for you as a Yu-Gi-Oh player to pick it up and take it home.
Okay, let's see this is worth it for us.
So first, let's talk about some of the reprints. We have Twin Twisters, which is a great card, just really good for the side deck, removes cards from their opponent's board. So any deck that can afford to discard a card or remove two, just a great card to have. And every player that plays competitively should have at least one Twin Twister or a set of Twin Twisters in their collection. We have Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This is only the second common print for a Soldier, I believe. I believe the first one was in the legendary Yugi decks. I'm not 100% sure about it, but Soldier is one of those cards that you play in Gold format and some of the older formats. It's a very, very cool card, and it doesn't come around too often. So yeah, Soldier, solid reprint. We have Mathematician. It was out of the format for a really long time, but it recently came back up in Orcus format. A lot of people know this is the card that you use to dump Orcus Heartfire with. It doesn't have too many prints. It only came in structure decks and Dragon the Legend packs. So having this in the Shaddoll structure deck, very solid reprint and adds great value. We have Super Polymerization. Although Super Poly recently got reprinted in Duel Devastator, Super Poly is still a great card, especially when we're going to a format where you can just use Starving Venom and World Chalice Guard Dragon Armaduke to just destroy boards. Super Poly is just really good, and it's a good card to have as a side deck option. We have Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is a card that got reprinted many times over the years, but even if you reprint Allure of Darkness so many times, for some reason, it's still like a $2 common, so having in the Shaddoll structure deck is really nice because it adds really good value. We have Pot of Avarice, and straight off the ban list, Pot of Avarice makes its return in Shaddoll structure deck, Shaddoll Showdown. So it's really good because some players might not have been around when Pot of Avarice was originally legal. So bringing it back in this structure deck gives players a chance to experience how one of the best old staples were in today's format and see if it's worth it. Plus, it's kind of hard to get now, so having it in Shaddoll Showdown just gives you more accessibility to having the card. We have Instant Fusion, just a good card. Most people that play Instant Fusion do play 2 or 3. It's very good for summoning Millennium Eyes Trick or 1000 Eyes Trick. Millennium Eyes is a little bit more expensive, so not too many players opt to run it. But still, it's one of those cards similar to Allure of Darkness, which has been reprinted many times, but still remains a $2 common, so it's really good. And we have cards like Armageddon Knight, generic Dark Dumper. Not too expensive, but it's a card that some people will often need because a lot of Dark Mill decks just are there. So having Armageddon Knight, just nice to have. And last but not least, Foolish Burial, staple card. It's just nice to have. It's not super cool, but it's Foolish Burial. So those are it for some of the more popular reprints. Of course, there are other reprints in the deck that are notable. Lava Golem, for example, is something that's there. But yeah, for most of the more notable reprints, the ones that have value or the ones that are a little bit more hard to get, those are the majority of it. So overall, for the reprints, very, very good reprints. Stuff like Allure of Darkness, Instant Fusion, BLS, Twin Twister, just great to have in your collection and for any competitive player. So for the reprints, it's very, very solid so far. So this deck is looking good.
These reprints are amazing. Oh, I didn't see them, but like, oh wow.
So let's get into some of the new cards. So
okay.
We'll start off with the new fusion. El Shadoll, El Capolone, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. It's one of the new Shadoll fusions. You can summon it by using 2 Shadolls with different attributes, which means that you have to play at least one of the new Shadoll cards, unless you're going to be using a Shadoll fusion monster to summon it. So it has 3 effects. The first effect is that it cannot be destroyed by battle, which is just nice, 2500 hitter that cannot be destroyed by battle, pretty good. Second effect is if it is special summoned to the field, doesn't have to be future summoned, it has to be special summoned, then you can target one face-up card on the field and negate it. So very good for negating hard effects. Provides disruption. You can summon it during your opponent's turn with El Shadoll Fusion or maybe the new Shaddoll Trap card. And the third effect is if it's sent to the graveyard. It doesn't have to be from the field. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Shadoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand and then discard 1 card. So that effect combos very well with your Shadoll cards because they activate upon being discarded. And they also combo really well with some other cards, such as the Performapal, I believe it's called Trick Clown, which activates when it's in the graveyard. So very, very solid card. Should be noted that this card must be fusion summoned, so you can't summon it with Waking the Dragon or Magical Scientist or whatever, like Cyber Sign. But once it's been fusion summoned successfully once, you can summon it with other effects the second time. So overall, pretty powerful card. You're probably going to play at least one if you're playing pure Shadoll, and it's pretty good. The next card that we have for you is Shaddoll Chaos. So this is a new light Shadoll monster. It's okay. It has a flip effect where you can spell summon a Shadoll from your hand. And the grave effect, when it's enters the grave by card effect, basically lets you discard a Shadoll, and then all your monsters gain attack points equals to 100 times the level, I believe. It's okay. The main incentive for you to play this card is because it's a light, and you could use Construct to send it, or you send it for Construct Summon. But the main problems with it is that it's not very too good because, well, as a Shadoll player, you don't really want to summon out of your hand. You prefer to summon out of your deck. Like our next card, Shaddoll Windy. So Shaddoll Windy is also one of the new ones. It's the Wind one, and it's pretty good. When you flip summon it, I believe it lets you summon a card from somewhere. I don't remember where. I think it's from deck or in face up defense or face down defense position. And when it's sent to graveyard by card effect, it also lets you special summon from your deck in face down defense position. So it's really good if you use Shadoll Fusion to mill it, or if you use El Shadoll to fuse it. You get a free monster on your field. It could be set up for Signature Shadow games or an Incarnation. So very good card. I think it's a solid 2 of, maybe 3 if you're playing an extremely grindy version of pure Shadoll. But overall, this is one of the best new main deck monsters that Shadoll has access to. And we have Shaddoll Aerial. So this is the water new Shadoll. It's pretty good. This effect is basically based around banishing your opponent's resources. So the flip effect is let you special summon one of your banished Shadoll monsters. It's pretty easy to banish Shadoll monsters in your deck now because you can use either Aerial's second effect, or you can use the new Shadoll Trap card that we're going to be showing next. Aerial's Sent to Graveyard effect lets you banish 3 cards from either player's graveyard, so you can target up to 3. It's very, very good, especially in the upcoming format where you're going to be playing against a lot of Spiral, a lot of Lunalight, because against Lunalight you can hit very important cards such as their Lunalight Yellow Martin, you can hit Zephyros, the Elite, and it will really screw up a Lunalight player's combo. And against Spiral, of course, you hit the Master Plan, you hit the Quick Fix, you hit the Agent, you hit whatever they need, and it's very, very good because it provides disruption. It usually is really good for grinding because decks that rely on graveyards such as Orcus, you can banish their resources, and it's pretty good. You can usually combo this off Signature Shadow games and send it with Signature Shadow games, and then you'll gain a banish 3, and it's a really good disruption during your opponent's turn. And last but not least, the new Shadoll Crap card, Shaddoll Incarnation, and this card is pretty good. So the effect of Shaddoll Incarnation, the regular effect of it, is that you can target one Shadoll monster in your graveyard, I believe, and I guess you can special summon it in face up or face down defense position. So this is very good. You can use this in combination with your new fusion, and you can negate something on your opponent's turn. You can summon back Window, you can summon back Construct for a dump, you can summon back some of your other Shadoll monsters. So overall, very powerful card, just for the fact that you can bring back something. But in addition to that, it also has a banish effect, where you can banish it from the graveyard to either make one face down defense position face up, or the other way around, making a face up face down. This is really good because you can flip stuff during your opponent's turn, you can disrupt your opponent with stuff like Shadoll Dragons, Pomada, and because it's a trap card, you can activate on either player's turn. So not only can you activate on your own turn, you can activate it on your opponent's turn. So for example, maybe you just set a Falco or you set a Beast off your Wendy, and you want to activate your Beast's turn. You can use your Construct, if you made one, to send this card to the graveyard and then banish it to still summon your Beast and get your draw 2 and discard 1 effect, which is really, really nice. So very powerful card. If you're playing pure Shadoll, you're probably going to be playing at least 2, maybe more. But overall, very powerful trap and gives Shadoll a lot of more plays and options. Those are it for the new cards. So let's talk about some of the cards that, if you buy this deck, can we build Shadolls? Well, the deck actually comes with a lot of Shadoll cards. You have basically the entire Shadoll extra deck here. You have the important fusions, you have the traps, the spells, the monsters. Basically, you have the entire Shadoll core here. So if you buy 3 of these decks, I'm pretty confident that even though you might be missing some of the really powerful competitive cards, such as your Lightning Storms and the staples, just in terms of card quality alone, this structure deck basically gives you almost everything you need to make a very basic Shadoll deck. So in terms of what it gives you, in terms of whether you can build a deck or not, it's very, very solid. It gives you a lot of value, a lot of great cards. So yeah, closing thoughts. The deck is very good, it has a lot of really good reprints. You're probably going to make your value back off the reprints alone. The new Shadoll stuff, if you do wish to play Shadolls, I wouldn't say it's tier 1 because that would be a little bit ambitious, but it's definitely pretty good. Like, it makes your deck playable again, it gives you plays going first, going second, and overall, like the card quality, what you get out of the deck, all the stuff that you obtain, it's a very good structure deck overall. So I do recommend you buy it if you're looking for any of the staples, or if you're just looking to play Shadolls for old time's sake, or improve your current Shadoll deck.
Okay, so much value. Thank you so much, and also, what have you been up to?
Alright, so recently, not a lot of people know this, but I recently got signed up with YGO Pro Deck, and I've been writing articles about TCG. So recently, I've been writing about Cyber Dragons, which is something that's very, very popular. I know a lot of people really enjoy Cyber Dragon content. So we're going to put the link down below for you guys to view, but for this structure deck specifically, we're also working on a Shadoll structure deck review, which will basically go a little bit more in depth with what we're talking about in this video. So that will also be below when it's ready. And yeah, that's mainly what I've been up to. We're basically writing articles about TCG, so if you guys have anything you guys want me to write about, whether it be a structure deck, a new pack, thoughts on the meta, deck reviews, feel free to suggest it, and I'll do my best to work on it. And yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Tim Lee.
Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Bye!